Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Away Day show. The Thursday show's back. Thank you for all support. We didn't quite get 300 on the last one.
Not quite.
We got halfway there, 150.
Not bad.
So
Still
two
not
solid
bad.
episodes of us having a chat here. Another really, really interesting week in the world of football. And glad for this show, there's not as much Premier League stuff to talk about. There's a lot of other top European leagues to talk about. I want to get us kicked off with, I guess, the biggest news that came out. Probably the start of last week, it was going crazy. Obviously, Jose Mourinho loses to Inter, I believe. AC, lost 3-1 to AC. Sitting ninth in Serie A and gets sacked. And that was a big sort of thing, came out on all the social media about his connection to the fans. He won them the trophy. And obviously, then the links come back to Tottenham. It's the only club that's never won a trophy yet. That all came out of it as well. But yeah, an interesting time. De Rossi now in charge, the man who lives and breathes, I feel like, Roma, growing up, that's all I associate Roma with is De Rossi. So he comes in charge. He wins his first game, funnily enough. But I guess in my mind, I don't know about you, it just feels like a bit of an era coming to an end in terms of Jose's lowest winning percentage at just under 49%. Like, obviously, he got into the final of the Europa League last year and the Conference League Championship the year before. But it just felt like that era of manager has sort of passed us. I don't know if you still believe. I think probably Ancelotti is probably the last of that breed that are a bit more pragmatic, defensively orientated. But it feels like they've come and gone now. That's a top manager. I don't know about you, but how do you sort of see all of that news coming out?
I still think he has a place at one of the top clubs to do, because you can't ignore like sort of the success he brought at Roma. Like he bought them a European trophy. They haven't won one in a very long time. So obviously he had a really good connection with the fans as well. I was actually a little bit surprised just because like I know where the board are coming from. Like I think he was the second highest paid manager in Serie A. You know, obviously it's the style of football, which is why they've sacked him. You know, they're only 2 points off fourth. I know there were a lot of teams in and around the mark, like Napoli, and like it's all pretty close. But yeah, like I thought they would have kept him on because, you know, Jose Mourinho is still a very good manager. I still think he can manage at a big club. It's just I'm struggling to sort of figure out where. Because I can't see the Bundesliga. I don't think he'd suit that league, and I don't think he's really ever been interested in it. Yeah. Another Serie A club, I mean, I don't really see it as well. Yeah. Premier League, I can't see it unless he wants to go to Crystal Palace and we go, you know, we take a step up from Roy Hodgson.
Or the Jose Mourinho, interesting step up. It's just, it's an interesting one. You're right, because, well, right now there's no Premier League job unless Manchester United want to go back on Jose, which I doubt. Bundesliga, I think they're too front-footed for him. And Spain, does he go back and try and do what he did, 10, 15 years ago now, which was go against the trend, because Spanish football is so beautiful to watch. Most of the time, you're going to try and get Jose and his sort of pragmatic, defensive-orientated style. I don't think it'll work. Like, look at Girona. We've touched on that the last two episodes we've been together. Attacking style of football seems to be working. Leverkusen, Girona, and a few of the Bundesliga games this weekend were fantastic in terms of attacking football.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, obviously there's got to be a space for him somewhere. I just, like you said, I just can't see.
It's just where
a big club, like a European club in a top 5 European league, taking him on board, because
I think Saudi's probably the one that's looking. Yeah,
we denied them.
I don't think he probably doesn't want to, but just the money and just getting back into it, kind of
bit of hot weather.
Yeah, but I still think he can manage a top team, because wherever he goes, besides Tottenham, he brings success. Right, he wins trophies, but it's just there's nothing really out there at the minute that would probably suit him. Is
it a case of just like a little bit, I guess, off topic? Is it a case of maybe players now not suiting him in the way, like, you know, like the Nemanja Matic, the John Obi Mikel's, the John Terry's? Then you think of like the Xavi Alonso's at Real Madrid. Players that just like listen to the boss, work the system. There's no characters in the changing room. You talk about Manchester United, he had to deal with Pogba, Ibra, all these guys. Is it a case of now this generation not quite being the focused, respect the manager, do what the manager says? They're more of a expression out to the social media and all this stuff. Do you reckon maybe that's a part to play?
Yeah, potentially. I think, the social media thing's a big one as well. I think he's very kind of strict, and like it's one way. There's no like you follow my rules, otherwise you're out kind of thing. But we've spoken a lot about how football's changed over the past sort of 10 years. Like, not just in terms of like social media, but in terms of sort of style of play. back 10, 15 years ago, it was very much 4-3-3, 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Counter-attacking kind of football. But now it's we're seeing wing backs come into centre mid and things like that, and it's not really what Jose's philosophy kind of is. It's nowhere near what he's used to, but he'll still get a big job. I still think
right. The money will be there.
Yeah. If it's in Saudi, I mean,
yes,
probably that's what it's looking like at the moment. But I mean,
there'll be somewhere, right?
There's got to be somewhere, surely.
How fun it would be if he went and managed Crystal Palace. That'd be quite hilarious.
I mean, if I was a Crystal, I mean, would you be happy as a Palace fan?
Because as if we were saying on the Monday podcast, which came out earlier in the week, obviously Potter was out the game, the Arsenal Crystal Palace game, and I was saying I think it'd be a good gig for Potter again to prove that he can build a team up, because I think as much as Chelsea can try and put it to the side because even Potter's struggling, that still taints your legacy a little bit. And I still think he has to prove that he can actually develop players and develop a big squad, because Antonio and Flynn are sitting there and saying, oh, Man United or whatever, or like another big club, he deserves that chance. And I'm like, he might deserve it, but does he want to go through that same sort of pain and stress of a big job?
Yep.
I thought he'd be suited to, developing that young side, because on the Jose thing, I think if I'm Crystal Palace right now, I believe they're being stuck in a cycle of mediocrity now for 10 12 years. Yeah. Do you take a different, where like we talked about last week, with going maybe to a championship manager, bringing them up, or bringing in, someone unknown with a bit more of a, front footer style of football, instead of like a Jose who's defensive, and they've been doing this now for years, and even more years, it feels like, because you've got Alexa, you've got Eze, but they're only there by a thread. You're holding on to them by nothing. If they want to stay, they want to be playing good football. I don't think a Jose would do that, but I think a Potter might. I think like a Kieran McKenna in the Championship might, and I think of Luke Williams, who's from Notts and out Swansea. These sort of managers would do that, but it's not like a household name like a Jose, like a Potter. But it might take a bit of a bold step to go and say, let's take this guy who's done a bit more in the Championship, or a bit more in even league, like an attacking style of manager. And now it sounds like fairy tale stuff, but I think that's the way that Crystal Palace have to go. So as much as it would look good for Jose to go there, and it might keep them 13th and 12th like they've been the last 10 years. I think Palace need to kick on. So I don't think Jose, like you said, I don't think he's suited to the Premier League anymore.
Yeah, no.
Which is sad to say.
Yeah, you're bang on about it. How, like, Palace fans they're looking at teams like, Brighton, West Ham, even a team like Wolves, who, look, the latter might not show it, but they're playing good football, right?
Yeah.
They want to see, they've got some good players in that team should not be, 14th, 15th?
15th right now, yeah.
I know Elise and Eze, and they've had a couple of really bad injuries, which, like, you lose two of your best players, it's going to hurt. But they want to start to see more kind of expansive, sort of progressive kind of football, and not just on the pitch, but also with the ownership and trying to take the club. Like, I'm sure Palace fans aren't expecting top 6, top 7, but they want to try and be pushing for, top half of the table, just playing good football, I think, is what matters.
Pretty simple,
Like, feels like forever now. Like, under Vieira, they played some decent football, but, like, they've always been this slow block, kind of just sit in, and they've been in the league, 10 years? Like, there needs to be...
It's been a while.
Yeah, some sort of progression.
We're in the era of always another team has to get in that top sort of 8 bunch. Like Villa was this year, West Ham were a few years ago, Brighton were there last year, Newcastle, I guess, to a degree, was new in there last year. There's always a chance for one of those teams to come up into that bracket, even if it is for a year. And I think Palace fans would absolutely lap that up.
They deserve it as well. Like, how much mediocrity have they had to put up with?
And how good the support is. And that ground as well, it's such a hard place to play.
Yeah, their away support is
incredible.
Brilliant as well.
It travels, and it just feels like they deserve a run in the light. Like how West Ham had that just before I think just after the COVID year, where they went to the final or semi-final of the Europa League or something like that. Had a really good year in the Premier League and the Europa League.
And even last year, they
won the conference.
Despite how bad they were in the league.
They need something like that. And I think it's going to have to take a bold move. And because I think, I was saying yesterday, this league, you can basically bank on the bottom 3 being the bottom 3. So why not take a punt, like they were saying, the fans and the flags, ownership, be expressive, get one of these championship managers mid-season. It might take you a lot of money to get them up, but get them up or get an unknown name. Play some front-footed style of football. Don't be so pragmatic and boring. don't know, we could be here next year and there could be a threat for the top half or battling around 9th and 8th because
it'd be good to see.
Chances are there. But Jose,
we'll see what happens with Jose. Yeah. He'll be back.
He'll be back somewhere.
His football will be back. Boring is best. So.
And winning a trophy. That's about it.
Yeah,
we'll
win
a trophy again somewhere.
Exactly.
And as you said, it might be in Saudi. And touching on Saudi, your former man, Jordan Henderson, the captain of Liverpool. Gee, what a 5 months that one was.
What a 5 months.
What a 5 months of Jordan Henderson. Plays in front of 800 people. His club sucks. He's sick of it.
His club.
I think they're sitting in like
8th
or 9th in a league that should be only a 4-horse race. So they're nowhere near it. So he's gone not being paid at all, I don't think, at the end of it.
Yeah, no.
Has to pay tax as well or something. So he's going out to Ajax. He becomes the fastest selling shirt, by the way, at Ajax.
Yeah, what the...
Goes to show you how poor that squad is. And he joins there, I think a big deal in terms of Ajax because they need to push their way back into European contention. But for Jordan Henderson and for me as like a loving watching football, it's good to see him back at a league I can actually watch. You know?
Yeah. He's obviously like he won't say it, but he did go there for the money.
Absolutely,
it wasn't about changing, how football's viewed in Saudi Arabia, and obviously it was for the money, and everyone in the world knows that. But yeah, it's a good move for him. He's maybe on one hand he's thinking about the Euros. I need to, I can't be playing in this league with part timers, stinkers. But yeah, it's a good move for him. It's a good move for Ajax. Obviously, they're pushing for sort of the top 4, getting those sort of that playoff sort of position for the like the Conference League or the Europa League or whatever. But yeah, look, he seemed pretty happy with the move, and he's going to a big club in Ajax.
Well, so. You're still in Europe. They're in the Conference League playoffs now. But obviously, they're fighting for Europe as well next season. So I think they're sitting right now
fifth, couple of points off.
Yeah, they're only a few points away from 4th.
Yep.
They've won 4 of the last 5 games. They obviously turned it around after that historically diabolical start of the season. So obviously it's going in the right direction. I think Jordan Henderson can kick you over the line there and get you even further in the front foot. And even then, maybe a Conference League trophy as well. Yeah. I think of the teams. I don't think of Aston Villa and the big club in there. Ajax are
You'd have to put them up there, surely.
Jordan
if they keep of going up in the trajectory that they're going, you would have to. You'd have to put them up there.
As well. Like
might go to United there. So.
Oh my god! Don't even get started about
that. We're not going to play Ajax football, but let's continue to buy players from.
Might as well just keep buying Ajax players. Jeez. They're going in the right direction. I think for Jordan Henderson as well, a chance for European football, a chance to sort of reinstate what he was known for, which was work ethic, hard work, and winning trophies. That's what the last 5 years, Jordan Henderson, you associate trophies, winning, and like effort and intensity, and an ultra consistent performer. So in terms of both parties, I couldn't have, other than for his pocket, it could have made me think that everyone benefits from it. So yeah, big move in terms of the club and for him. Yeah, and obviously in the right direction, I think, for I guess football in general, because it looks like the Saudi experiment.
Yeah, I don't think the move can really go wrong. Like they haven't paid too much.
No.
I don't know how much money he's on, but
it's not.
It's nowhere near. Yeah, it's nowhere near as much as Saudi. But he good experience. Knows how to win. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's a good get.
Firmino could be next. Benzema as well. Links now back to Lyon. So originally started the week, it was all the Premier League clubs. It was Chelsea, United and Arsenal.
Yep.
Now it's been links back to Lyon. But the problem is the wages. The player wants it, the club wants it.
Always going to be the problem, wasn't it?
The wages are stupid. We might end up seeing all these players not win out because they might have to pay back the clubs in terms of getting away, because I don't think any of these new clubs are going to pay these wages. They're ridiculous.
They're just going to have to terminate their contract. If the player want to leave that Bailey, just become a free agent or something,
It's just become ridiculous.
It's too hard to negotiate with the wages, and then the player's got to leave and pay all this tax, and it's just ridiculous.
I think the clubs don't win, the players don't win.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, the new clubs win. The new suitors absolutely win because they get world-class talent. But
even those Premier League clubs you mentioned, I know Karim Benzema is one of the all-time great strikers, and how old is he now? Like what, 37?
Yeah, 35, 36. I think around that mark.
Around there, 36. Like I don't get why clubs like Arsenal and Man United are in for him. Like Man United, that just screams Edison Cavani 2.0 for me. As good as Cavani was, he took a whole lot of money out of your club and then left for nothing, and now he's retired or whatever. Yeah, Arsenal, I know they need experience, but 27, 28-year-olds, not 37, 35, 36-year-olds. And then Chelsea, I mean, God knows, they'll probably offer him $1 million a game and sign him. So
and he'll play 5 games, get injured because that's what Chelsea
exactly,
do.
Yeah,
it does feel like, especially with, I guess, all three, it seems like a panic in all different ways. In terms of United need goals, in terms of Arsenal need goals, but also need to win a title. And Chelsea, just Chelsea. We can't read that with a...
Who knows what they're going to do.
Yeah, so. They'll go and buy some 14-year-old for 100 million as well. So, it does seem like a bit all over the place. But, yeah, you got the more names that keep coming out, the more I think, as much as we're trying to hype it up as being maybe it could succeed, it's looking like the Chinese Super League just to get it. Yeah,
that's why we said a couple of weeks ago, like, it doesn't matter how good Ronaldo's been, how good, like, maybe a Milinkovic-Savic has been. Yeah. When players are leaving 6 months... in because they don't like the quality of the league or because of the humidity or, like it turns players off immediately. So, as you said, I think it's going to die down very quickly.
Sadly, it lasted all of 5 months. Yep. Speaking of Ronaldo, you're very good at helping me with segues here. I actually don't know what the event was, but he was there making a speech after being runner-up to Erling Haaland. I think one of these Saudi Arabian awards
soccer
as well.
Globe, was it?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. So he's always there and always seems to win these awards because he has a great relationship with the like Arabic countries in terms of his impact over there. So he comes second. You see him like pointing to Haaland actually in the images. Then in his speech, he basically goes on and criticises the legitimacy of the best and the Ballon d'Or, obviously in regard to how Messi's gone and won both.
Yeah.
Interesting because I've sort of been, you're a Messi sort of guy, I'm a Ronaldo guy, but in terms of, I'm not fuming, but I just didn't understand the whole reason why. Maybe the Ballon d'Or I can sort of get, but the best, I don't see why Erling Haaland, who they did chuck on TikTok and social media, you see him holding all 5 trophies, everything won in Europe, Super Cup, everything, the lot, and he's scored one of the most amount of goals this season, clear of Messi in terms of goals. And you just wonder, how is this guy not managed to win one of these awards? Like Ballon d'Or, I guess, there's a bit of overlap. I can get that because the World Cup will have to have a big part of the play there.
Yeah.
But the best is, when I see is, it's European best. You've won all the 5 European trophies. How does Erling Haaland not win the best at least?
No one really knows what the Ballon d'Or kind of stands for anymore. Is it best individual season? Is it like what is it? They need to clarify that because like Messi won it because of the World Cup. We all know that. Obviously he had a good stint at Inter Miami. PSG was not bad. Obviously won the league there, but I don't get how he hasn't won anything for the season he had. Like 50 goals, a treble, like. Come on.
Everything that was there to be won, he's won it. I don't think I don't think the World Cup counted as the best, right? Is that not, because that's the FIFA Ballon d'Or with the FIFA World Cup. So I just don't see how he doesn't win that. And I think I can put up a good debate for him if I have my time to prepare that he should have won the Ballon d'Or as well in terms of the impact that has as well. It just seems so foreign to me that at least there's a great chance to share the award considering how great of a season Haaland had.
Yeah, as much as I love Messi, and I'm so happy that he won his 8th Ballon d'Or, 8th, it's just hard to figure out how Haaland did not win it. Yeah, it's mind blowing, and Ronaldo's comments kind of coming out saying, sort of undermining the integrity. Yeah. And, obviously, I get where he's coming from, but. Like I said a couple of weeks ago on the 2023 sort of roundup, it's, he's obviously looking at Messi, seeing him win the Ballon d'Or, and obviously he's upset with how United went, and he's reminding people, look, I'm still here. Look at my 54 goals. It doesn't matter what league you're in. 54 goals is still an incredible achievement, which it is. But obviously, it's a Saudi league, right? There's a little bit sort of. It kind of plays it down a little
Undermines
bit.
a little bit,
But it's just ridiculous how, Messi winning the Ballon d'Or, okay, that's,
I can
see it,
sort of give that.
But not winning the
best, the UEFA. Yeah. It's called the UEFA best, right?
Yeah.
It says Europe's best.
Europe's best. So you would think it would come from the team that was the best.
Yeah, exactly. In Europe, and the best player in that team was, I don't know. It boggles me. And there's a take back to Ballon d'Or as well, and this is why I was sort of a little bit frustrated. I know people say, well, especially Antonio says, the COVID year doesn't count. But when Lewandowski didn't win that Ballon d'Or coming out of COVID
year doesn't count. Was football not played?
Well, yeah, no, and I know they didn't give the award, but surely that has to carry on a little bit of weight to next year. And I know Messi was incredible, but Lewandowski across that sort of 1.5 years was like unstoppable in terms of like how good he was.
That's
so
a joke.
The fact he didn't get that one either, and then you think about Robin a few years before that, get robbed, and like obviously Ronaldo's robbed a few players.
I think Ribery was robbed a year as well. He was robbed, yeah.
Like in terms of the 2000s onwards, you could almost name every sort of 3 or 4 years who should have won it instead. And I thought we'd turn the corner with Modric winning. I thought, okay, we're finally appreciating Messi and Ronaldo.
And midfielders.
Midfielders. Yeah. Or maybe defenders. Like Van Dijk should have been around the place a few times as well. And we thought, okay, maybe we've turned the corner here. It's not just Messi and Ronaldo, but yet we've got... And I know it was a good 8 games and one of the greatest knockout runs in history. But Messi winning off that, you talk about 54 goals being undermined in the Saudi League, winning a Ligue 1 doesn't match up much then in terms of winning a Premier League, a Champions League, and that's why I just get like, are we really doing this? And obviously we're going to be done now, I'm assuming, with Messi and Ronaldo, we're done with that.
Yeah,
but
no, we're done.
Are we going to be stuck down a cycle maybe the next generation where it's just going to be Mbappe and Haaland if they don't?
I mean, Bellingham's got a good chance this
Hopefully
year.
Bellingham wins it. Give us a midfielder for once, please. Give us a central midfielder.
It just depends on how they go in the Euros.
Exactly.
So hopefully they don't stink up the joint and get out in the quarters or something, because then no chance.
Because it could be the next generation. Yeah, Haaland and Mbappe keep winning it, and maybe a Jude might deserve it, but he's not a striker or a winger. So I just hope we finally break the curse of just the forwards get it. Because
how high do you sort of value the Ballon d'Or now because of sort of what we've seen the last couple of years with obviously the Lewandowski situation?
Yeah, so the last 6 years sort of turned me away from it. And again, I had a little moment where I thought, Modric won it. Okay, this is a proper award. Yeah. And when Van Dijk's getting more credit and stuff, like, okay, definitely this is. And maybe it's a little bit of Ronaldo fanboy playing a part of it, but the fact that Messi won it this year for me was, and I can 100% understand it. But I just think it's a discredit to what Erling Haaland did. Like, we might never see, in terms of like Premier League fans watching the Premier League, a better start. Like we're seeing what Jude's doing in La Liga, and maybe people can say, La Liga is not as good as the Premier League. We saw what Haaland did to the Premier League. Exactly. He scored hat-tricks against Manchester United in his first ever derby. He took it like it was no other game. He won a Champions League with a team that couldn't win a Champions League. It felt like they won the treble. He scored important goals. His worst run was like 3 games without a goal. It's like, are you kidding me?
It feels like they change it every year, because the one thing that I just get so annoyed about is, look at Jorginho a couple of years ago when he came, what was it, fourth?
Yeah,
around there. He won the Champions League and the Euros at the time. Like, fair enough. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't... He was good. He was really good. But
5-month patch.
Yeah. And then... So, obviously, they've done it because of the teams that he was in.
Yeah.
But then a guy like Haaland scores 50 goals and with his team wins a treble.
It's just like...
And he doesn't... It's very confusing, and it feels like they change the criteria depending on who's... like, sort of up there.
Yeah.
Like, if Ronaldo would have won the World Cup, 100% he wins it.
It was, yeah. And that would have been...
Haaland could have scored another 30 goals and he still wouldn't have won it.
Exactly.
So
it is name bias. And obviously, players have to have a heart in the voting as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, obviously, if you're a player, like, everyone always says Messi is one of the best players. So, obviously, they put Messi up there, thinking that Haaland's she carried a City team throughout some tough periods. So, yeah, absolutely. And I get the whole Haaland's in a great City team, blah, blah, blah. But I know Argentina weren't great, but they're still a solid team. It's not like it was like a Norwegian or Denmark team that won the World Cup. Argentina have won a fair few
They were
World Cups.
They were like one of the favourites along with France.
Top 8 teams, surely top 5 teams in that World Cup.
Oh yeah, probably top 3. France. There was a whole story about Messi as well, which is why they were so high up.
That's why high up, yeah.
You know, maybe you would have had England up there.
Yeah.
You know.
Just it's a funny old chestnut. But I could keep talking about this forever. I think we're going to keep talking about it until the next Ballon d'Or. It will literally keep coming up until the next Ballon d'Or.
This debate will probably keep going on forever.
It will rage forever.
I mean, there's always going to be like difference of opinion every year with the Ballon d'Or.
100%.
But it just feels like lately there's so much disagreement with like
disparities are just
I love Messi, but come on, Haaland's here. Just sometimes you got to take a step back and look at it like, okay, he should, despite Messi's World Cup performance, Haaland was.
Or just be Pep and say, just give Messi his own award and just give Haaland the award because he probably deserved it. Yeah. All right, top players this year leads us to the next point of the top of each league. Now, we'll touch on the Super Cup in Italy. That allows Juve to go top of Serie A. Got Liverpool on top of the Premier League after a very good result against Bournemouth as well, which you'll be very happy with.
Very happy. very happy.
Leverkusen with another great win. We'll touch on that as well with Bayern losing. So Leverkusen on the top. Obviously, Girona are top after their great win as well. So, and obviously PSG, but we know PSG are going to be top. Yeah. So we've got and done to fill this week's sort of fun segment is the combined top of the table 11. So two players from each of the top 5 league teams plus a third
from
the team you prefer.
Yep.
I went with a 4-3-3. Did you go with that as well?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the classic formation.
Yep.
Do you want to just go through your whole team and then we can compare our differences?
All right, so I've got Alisson in goal.
Right.
I've got Hakimi at right back, Bremer and Virgil van Dijk at centre back with Grimaldo at left back. I've got Locatelli at DM with Ivan Martin and Florian Wirtz.
Great, cool.
At centre mid. I've got Salah on the right, Dovbyk up front, and Mbappe on the left.
You might have formulated that was a bit better than I couldn't fit. I should have put Wirtz in. All right, I've stuffed fun up a little bit then. I went Donnarumma in goal. I still think I wanted some other Liverpool players, so I went Donnarumma in goal. Left back went Grimaldo, bit of a slam dunk, best left back in the world. Bremer and Van Dijk centre back, probably the two best without taking too many players out of position. I went Jeremy Frimpong at right back.
I was gonna put him in, but then
Hakimi is one of the best though.
Yeah, and I wanted to fit in Wirtz,
and that's why I'm a bit upset. Frimpong for me though, one of those informed, the informed right back. Hakimi was one before that, so either one's a great one there. Then I went Locatelli and McAllister.
Ooh.
In midfield. And now it says
to be fair, his performance on the weekend was world class.
And that showed me why he's doing it with Harvey Elliott.
I love that for me.
And he's doing it with Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. I love Curtis Jones as well, but Harvey Elliott for me, maybe it's the future, but he's not a central midfielder for me. So the fact he put it in that masterclass furthers my point. I have a little...
I love that. That's good.
Both of them can drop in at certain points of time, so I love that. And I got Savio. I could have played him in this team. I could have played him at 10, but I ended up going with Porto because he's more of a natural number 10. I really wanted to get him in, but Savio can't play at 10. I was really close to putting him at number 10.
Savio's been unbelievable. Him against Sevilla was ridiculous. His ball into the box his cutbacks are very good.
The 4th goal, I think. No, the 5th goal. I think it was the 5th goal.
The 5th one.
Just to wind
ran down the line and then
cut back perfect. And he works so good in that system. So I had to shout him out. I really want to get number 10, but I feel like I'd get slandered for putting a out-and-out winger at number 10. So I couldn't put him in. Put Porto in there, sorry, not Savio. I put Kylian Mbappe on the left. Obviously Dovbyk down the middle and Salah on the right. So
that's a good team.
Both are very, very solid.
So you had Frimpong instead of Hakimi. And you had McAllister instead of Ivan Martin.
Yeah. Oh, and then obviously I had Porto at the 10 rather than
and Donnarumma as well.
So a few changes, but
the same sort of
structure as well. Do you reckon this team goes on and let's talk about Europe then? Do you reckon it goes on? How far does it go in the Champions League? This group, defensively very solid.
I think
it's about if this midfield can hold up.
My midfield's quite attacking. Like I got Locatelli in there, who's like good at
DM,
good at that DM spot. But then I got Ivan Martin and Wirtz, who are a lot more sort of attacking.
Progressive players,
I think it goes very far. At least I reckon a semi.
Yeah, I reckon it goes to a semi, maybe a tough loss in a semi to Real Madrid or something like that.
Real Madrid or Man City.
Yeah.
The only teams...
They could look in the Champions League and probably got teams that beat them.
Yeah.
Because I think they have back 4.
Even you got Frimpong.
I got 2 guys who just go on and just create assists. I got one of the biggest goalkeepers in the world in Donnarumma. You've got probably the best goalkeeper in the world. I think my midfield's probably a little bit more balanced in terms of McAllister can drop in or Locatelli can drop in.
Your midfield's, and then we got the same forward line.
The problem is
your team's probably a bit better, to be honest.
Porto though, number 10's not Florian Wirtz. That's the problem.
He's still a good player. Though.
He's a
anyone player. From I've got Ivan Martin. He's only got. I think he's played 20 games. He's got like 4 goals and an assist, which isn't
very important.
But that's the thing. That's why I put. He was one of the first names I put in.
Yeah,
because he's very important.
Very interesting unit though. By the way, it was very hard to fit all these players in because...
leaving out Frimpong actually hurt me.
That's the same thing he was. Leaving out Savio was a dagger in the heart. I'm like, I can't leave out Mo Salah. Probably the best player in this whole team.
Savio,
You probably could say the most 2 better players other than for Mbappe is Savio and Salah in the exact same position. I'm like, how am I going to work this around? Does he Salah at striker? No, you've got to play Dobbik. And it's like, oh.
I was very tempted to do a 4-4-2 and put Vlahovic at striker because he's been in really good form lately.
Yeah.
He's been very clutch for them.
The reason why Juve's sailing off the table.
But I had to fit in 3 Liverpool players.
Yeah. So. I think it'd be rude not to have 3 Liverpool players.
How many?
I had Verge, Salah and
McAllister. Okay.
My love of my life, McAllister.
Yeah, you're going to die on that hill.
I'm going to die on McAllister. I believe he is the difference for Liverpool this season.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Do I touch on quickly Liverpool's game? I know we touched on a bit in the Monday show, but since you're the real Liverpool fan, and I think we didn't touch enough about that game. Very impressive. We talked about it. It was a danger game. And another soft spot I have is for Bournemouth. I love what Areola does. And coming to the game, both two of the most informed Premier League teams, if I'm not mistaken, across the last 5 games.
Yeah. Yep.
Bournemouth been very good. And the first half you saw that. I think Liverpool gave the respect. They were like, we're going to watch what you do and just see how you play your football. And then we're going to come out second half and counter it. I think second half, wow.
Yeah, first 5-10, Bournemouth were on the front foot. And I think sort of the way we just sort of had to withstand that pressure sort of shows the respect that we kind of had for them. Like, we know what you're going to do. We know you're going to come out. We know you're a good team. And I thought sort of after that sort of 5-10 minute spell, we grew into the game. We were a lot better on the ball. We got control of the ball. And then, we just sort of gradually got better and better. And second half was probably one of the best halves of football we've played. Just dominant. I know they had a chance in like the 90th minute, which Brooks probably should have scored, which would have, my 3-1 prediction would have been spot on.
I was about to say, would have been bang on it.
But besides that, dominant. Alisson didn't have to do much. Nunes and Jota were brilliant. Jota's finishing, my God.
I didn't realize. Antonio said he's had 10 goals in all comps. I didn't realize. It feels like he hasn't played football. I know he's played like 20 odd game, but it feels like he hasn't played.
Yeah, people that watch Liverpool every week know how good this guy is. His finishing is ridiculous. Even just his movement, like even when he's running and dribbling at players, like he's not flashy. Doesn't use any skill moves. Just takes a touch, runs past them, and if he's on his left foot or his right foot, he's gonna bang it in.
Funny
he will bang it in.
Doesn't skill much. He's a FIFA lover, so
yeah.
That's why he
saves all the Travellas and step overs for FIFA. But
you talk about the thing I love about Diaz and Jota, they are probably one of the best headers of the ball in the league. Like these 2 guys are just shy of 6 foot or maybe 6 foot.
Yeah.
These guys I reckon are some of the best headers we've got in the Premier League, and it's ridiculous because they're wingers and Jota can play on the middle, and we saw what happened on the weekend with down the middle and on the right, but. That's an underrated part of their game as well because they make these great movements. They can still head the ball in the back of the net. I can't look at any other. Maybe Grealish is not consistent enough. But what other wingers can do the same stuff in the air that these guys? That's the thing as well.
Probably none.
It's next to none in the Premier League, and that's what I appreciate for them as well. And then obviously the big move from Jurgen Klopp was started Nunes on the flank, moved him down the middle, moved Jota out to the right. What happens? Both those 2 guys at the 2 goals each. Like that's just. I guess
that's the beauty we have at the moment. No matter who comes on, whether Gakpo comes on or them 3 start, they can play anywhere across the front 3, which is good. You can change it sort of mid-game. If, like, in the first half it wasn't really working, Jota was a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Nunes, we couldn't really get involved. Diaz was sort of okay throughout the entire game, but he did his job.
Yeah.
But if this front 3 and Gakpo, if they can keep playing the way they're playing, I know Salah's going to miss a bit longer than expected, obviously with the injury.
A month now.
But I know we've got some big games. Arsenal, Chelsea's our next league game. Obviously we've got the League Cup Thursday morning, which will be big.
And you got the FA Cup against
Norwich on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
But obviously a big month. But obviously I said before Salah left for AFCON, I was scared.
Very worried,
because like just none of our, besides Jota, no one was really clicking.
Yeah.
But now, they're coming good at the right time, perfect time. So, just need to keep going.
I still believe in Liverpool.
That was probably the first time this season that I've genuinely believed. Yeah, we can win this league. So
I said it yesterday. I said it on the Monday pod. Arsenal's 10-point lead is equivalent of your 5-point lead. It is massive because Liverpool, as much as people think it's a new team, you still got Verge, you still got Alisson, Salah, and most importantly, Jurgen Klopp. And because the way, again, McAllister, I loved that midfield performance on the weekend, but the fact he can make Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones and McAllister, You think, wait, sorry, as a midfield 3, those guys. I see, Elliott's future as a 10 or a right winger. Like, that's
probably a 10.
Yeah,
I think he's too slow.
I see Curtis Jones as a very, very good performer, but someone who's a bit rough around the edges, not quite the finished product. You can make that 3 in midfield outplay, and you say Bournemouth, it sounds a bit mid, but Bournemouth midfield this year has been very, very good.
It's not like they were awful for the second half. I think it was more Liverpool were just really good.
I think Liverpool up there again, because Lewis Cook's been one of the most informed players in that Bournemouth side, and they've been a lot around possession in midfield. To have midfield them with that group that's just chucked together, I don't think they've played together this season, if I'm correct in saying so.
Yeah, maybe
some substitute times together.
Yeah, like 10, 15 minutes.
Starting 90 minutes together, it gives me so much confidence in what Jurgen Klopp's doing. He's built this team and this new style of football to just work. And it's similar to some teams, but like nobody else's. It's iconic. It could go down as...
It could be,
At the start of the season, I was saying Liverpool outscore teams, and I had these guys come back at me, and I saw on social media, it will never work. It can't never work. But we've done it before. So. History's proven that eras start and go. Yeah. Like we saw with Jose Mourinho. Eras can come and go. And we had eras of 4-4-2. That's in the past. We have eras of the 4-3-3. That's gone. Then it was a 4-2-1-3. Now we've got inverted fullback. But there's always the next iteration. I think Jurgen Klopp was bold enough to say, we're just going to attack. We're just going to go on the front foot. We're going to play Trent at centre-back. We're going to play in midfield. We're going to play attacking midfielders. We are true out at number 6. And we're just going to beat teams by outscoring them, out chance creating them. And he sticks by Núñez. He sticks by...
Yeah.
Look what happens.
Yeah, the Klopp sticking by Núñez.
That is fair.
I've slandered him a lot. And probably rightly so.
Because you have the right to do that.
But you can't ignore the chaos that he brings. And the 97th minute, he's sprinting back, defending. Like, as a fan, you love that. And that's why, like, as much as sometimes I hate him and I abuse him, like, what are you doing? Just finish. Like, just his work rate and his want to just win. You love it. Like, there's that little part. It's like, okay, I know he misses this. I know he does this, and I hate how he does this, but he just
every time, even if he misses a sitter, the whole like Klopp and Núñez, everyone's like that's just like, it's as much as like almost wholesome. It's always like heartwarming. It's like everyone backs this guy, and now he's fine. I think he's the first to 20 goal involvements.
I think he's got 10 goals, 10 assists
in all competitions.
So it's actually, and a lot of has been coming on as a sub.
Yeah, it is what I thought this season was going to be. And it took a while to sort of kick into gear. I think I highlighted him start of the year. He was the player I wanted to see go on and show what he's all about. And he's not quite what he did in the Champions League for Benfica, but it's close to that. So very exciting for Liverpool fans.
I think people are forgetting, like, I know everyone talks about how young Arsenal are. Yeah. This Liverpool team is still very young.
There's parts in there that's still developing,
Still very young. Like, obviously, your star players are getting on, like Virgil. And Trent's still like only 25. Obviously, Salah's getting on. But like, you got Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, and these guys are very early 20s. So it's looking very good.
Perfectly put together, though, in my mind. You got a few young stars, a few of the established a lot.
Yeah.
This is an era here.
What a difference sort of 12 months can make, right?
Well, last year was hell. But anyway, you bounce back well.
Yeah.
Speaking about bouncing back, gee, I'm getting good at my segues today. Atletico bounced back after the Super Cup humiliation, I guess, in many ways, to go and beat Real and ruin the treble after I've been hyping up the treble for the last 2 weeks.
I mean, there's still the poor man's one with
the poor man's treble with the Super Cup in there as well.
So it's still... We'll still say it's on.
If they win it,
if they win it,
But all the Barca fans having a field day saying this team can't win. Real Madrid still haven't won a treble, like a proper treble yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In my mind, remarkable. So they can't win it now. Atletico beat them in a ridiculous game in the cup, 4-2.
Mental, wasn't it?
Back and forth. Bellingham thought he had the goal in I think just before end of regulation. That was ruled off. I don't know. Ceballos, I think, had it in the net. Yeah. Bellingham was offside. It was just
some very interesting goalkeeping as well.
Lunin
Oblak had a shocker.
Oblak had a stock.
Lunin like parrying it.
I don't know what was going on, but to tell you what, it was one of the most exciting.
Oh, it was a good game.
I watched there. It was ridiculous.
Griezmann's goal was ridiculous as well.
100th minute as well. You should be knackered. Took it on.
Top bins.
Roof of the net. Roof, like right in the corner.
Had a bit of everything, didn't it?
Yeah, atmosphere seemed nuts in that game as well. Yeah. I just think. This is why I love a bit of Spanish football, and I think I'm glad we had this show now. We can talk more about Spanish football because ridiculous game. And I think we've got another big part of after the next part to talk about. A lot happened on the weekend in the LaLiga as well. But again, Atletico getting their revenge back, and I guess perfect timing off Delata with Griezmann with that goal there, and just showing that they are still a serious threat. Morata and Griezmann this season, I think 20 goal contributions, something like that, in all comps this season. They've been just fabulous for them. And they aren't in it right now, but if Real, they've had a few hiccups in the last few weeks outside of cup competitions. Obviously, Girona, how long will that last? Atletico are still in the realm of reality of, pushing for this title. And I think if all things continue the way it's going, we're going to do a combined Atletico and Real Madrid 11. We said no because it's going to be all Real team. But it's just got that thing about them. They're just nitty and gritty. They'll get over the line.
Yeah.
That's what they did in this game. Their team's not superstar talent, but Morata, Griezmann in great form. And look at the fullbacks are really, really solid as well. They might just, you never know, they might just cause some havoc this season.
And I think they're fifth at the minute.
Fifth or fourth at the moment. Yeah, just around that place.
Which is, I'm actually a bit surprised by, because I think they play better football than, I think they've played better football than they have in like previous seasons.
I think they're a bit more
open.
Yeah. It's exciting to see what could happen this season.
But I think the thing with Atletico is just sort of consistency with some of their players. Obviously, you know what you're going to get from Griezmann, but they've obviously beating Real's big. Can they go on and win the Copa del Rey?
Copa del Rey, and then you go maybe.
That should be a big target for them. I think they can beat Barca, and on the day,
I think they play better. Barca at the moment, they play better at Barca at the moment. They're so open as well, Barca. You feel like you just put a bit open at the minute,
Even on the weekend.
There's a lot to come on the week. There's a lot to discuss about the weekend.
A lot of LaLiga, in LaLiga. VAR rant incoming.
Okay. We'll save that to a little bit. Next, I'll talk about is Bundesliga. We've got a Bundesliga. That was also chaotic as well. I tell you, the Spurs curse is real. It is genuinely there.
This ain't no.
This is no joke anymore. This is a genuine thing. Bayern lose to the Werder Bremen 1-0 on the weekend. They were just not at the races. Bayern at all. Slow to start.
Should have been more than 1-0. Well, they should have at least.
First half, they could have had 3 before half time. Werder Bremen, and as much as Bayern could have scored as well. But outside of maybe Musiala, I don't think there was many players.
Sane was pretty.
Sane had some good moments.
Even his shooting was
just rubbish shooting. Yeah. They all had moments, but the final product was not there. Harry Kane was invisible for the first half.
Yeah.
And they just went at the races, man.
That was awful. Defensively, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
They were defending up near where Harry Kane. Like, what were they doing? They were all over the place against teams like Werder Bremen. Against most teams in the Bundesliga, you know what they're going to do. They're going to sit back. They're just going to counter-attack.
Yeah.
So I don't get why they're leaving De Ligt literally by himself in a 1v1 all the time. And then he was getting confused whether to step up or whether to drop off. Going forward, they were just so average.
Just tame.
Sane had a couple of shots which were... He had one in the first half where I think Kane laid it off to him. You expect him just to rifle it, and it's just so straight to the keeper. There's kind of a sameness about Bayern. Like it's... I don't know what... I know they've gotten like a couple of like new players, obviously Kane.
Yeah.
They bring on like Matisse Tel from the bench. Obviously they brought in like Kim Min-jae and De Ligt over the past couple of years. Yeah. But there's just something about them which it's kind of like just the same. Like it's just... you know what to expect every game, and there's no like kind of like... I don't know what the word is. Like something different. There's no like... They don't have different sort of ways of winning a game.
They don't have any game changers.
Game changers.
Like Harry Kane was that, but he's a certain player that you can get used to and you can adjust to. And the way they're playing right now just feels like I said, it's a bit just slower and just like...
That
it
is
will eventually
Tuchel,
break
to
you
be
down.
Fair. That is Tuchel.
That is Tuchel ball. It's a lot of possession, a lot of in tight areas, but it feels like a lot of these sort of bigger teams at the like I took at Arsenal as well, where it's just like too slow. Have a bit of cutting edge about you. Go, be a bit more aggressive, because right now it just feels like they create chances, but no clear cut chances, no meaningful chances. Sane's getting shots from outside the box. Harry Kane gets the old flick on header.
They're relying on him a lot though.
If he doesn't score, they're in trouble. It's funny to say that, and that's...
They've had some games where they've played really well, and they've looked really, really good, and it's like, okay, now they're going to kick on and go on a big run, but they've just kind of never been able to back it up consistently.
The 1-0 didn't do it justice. I think it could have been a 3-0.
They could have scored 2 or 3 in the
first
half.
could have had another one on the counter-attack as well. He was great.
I think they had one ruled offside, I think.
Yes, offside. No, it was a foul in the build-up.
Foul, yeah. Which
probably was a foul, but again...
It's one of those.
Some other games, you get it paid. So... it's a funny old chestnut. And they only came out their shell when Tell came off the bench and when they went.
He was very close to scoring the thing, like literally the last
kick of the game. Little jinky with his feet there. And
it'd be good to see him starting a bit more.
See, maybe that and Kane
a bit of different dynamic, doesn't he?
A bit of pace and a bit of just clinicality there with Kane. That's like the Son and Kane combination, right? Maybe they go to a 2 up front. Maybe that's the way they go with Tell and Kane, just to change it up. Because even the Champions League, the group sucked they were in. Because Manchester United were awful. And yet still...
That's mental. Like you would expect them to be spoken about so much more. But again, it's similar to Inter, like what we spoke about last week. Like there's just an expectation that a Man City or a Real Madrid are just going to beat them.
Knock off in the quarters.
Like, they are better than them. Like Man City smashed Bayern last year.
They'll wipe the floor.
And like in no way are we counting off Bayern, by the way.
Oh no, they'll probably come
no
chance. 10 points.
They'll probably still end up being very close or win it. But you know, we've spoken a lot about Leverkusen and their ability just to go to the end and to win a game, which is what they've done the last 2 games.
Yeah, we'll talk about
they could have very easily gotten 2 points, maybe 4 points, but they got 6 because they just find a way to win. And even in that game, just find a way to get a draw.
Something,
just you know, obviously they're obviously trying, but just that bit of quality was
lacking.
It
doesn't look like it though.
That's the thing.
It never looked like
it was always going to have to be a screamer. It was never going to be a nice sort of built-up play.
Yeah.
Or a corner like Leverkusen, or you know, you have a look at the goals that Leverkusen have scored in the last couple of minutes. Like it's been coming and it's been like well built up.
Built up, bang, goal.
Yeah.
Let's touch on them then.
Yeah.
What a game.
Still stupid to count them out. If they win their game in hand, they're only 4 points behind.
Back. Yeah. And we saw happen last year with how dramatic that was. I remember split screening both games and being like, oh my God, played Dortmund, and then just, one of the most disappointing final days ever. But you expect them to do that again. But hopefully not, because
it'd be good.
Bayer Leverkusen, I don't know, a bit of a hater in terms of they're playing good football, but they're coming up against some stern tests. And they came up against a Leipzig side have turned the corner a little bit as well. Playing very well.
Very
top 4 team at the moment.
Tough team to play against and to go and to go there and wins big.
Talk about exciting games a lot this weekend, but this was one of them. 3-2.
Yep.
Jonathan Task was a 62nd minute header. That was like a bullet header. That reminded me of prime, like early 2000s, the big centre backs bang, knocking the back of the net. And then Hincapie, who played a great game. Defensively, the first half was ridiculous, stopping Sesko and Openda, who were incredible in their own right as well. They deserve some props as well.
Yep.
And last kick of the game, basically again, great ball, Grimaldo.
His delivery was excellent.
Comes in, slides in with that extended leg.
Yeah.
And it just scenes, right? It is just ecstasy. You know, there's, Xabi Alonso up and down the touchline. It's a good feel story at the moment.
It's hard to see them, because the last 2 wins they've had, it just so much confidence comes from that, right? Like
can't be stopped,
now they generally will be believing, like even not just Bundesliga, but like Europa League, like we'll go to Anfield week, you know what I mean?
Beat them there.
Like why not? So it's good. Like we've got races in most leagues
now,
if not all leagues.
Yeah, you got a chance in all leagues.
Besides obviously League 1, but
Farmers doesn't count.
I don't think I've generally looked at that.
I haven't watched that. I know that PSG actually won the equivalent of the Super Cup in France either last week or something like that. But
I think I pay more attention to Saudi than I do
what's happening in the 800 people stadium. That's happening. It's just it's so exciting in the way they play. I touched on it a few weeks ago, but you have to touch on it. Just that game, both teams were just on the front foot, back and forth. It felt like a ping pong game.
Xavi Simons' goal was that had Dele Alli vibes.
The same
all over.
Ball comes across 1, 2, swivel,
great
bang,
touch, great finish.
Bottom corner, a bit of a bounce in. Oh, even the Openda goal. That was like counter-attack, like perfection.
That man is quick. Holy,
he might deserve a big move as well soon enough.
Yeah,
he played well. Sesko's playing well as well.
Chelsea maybe.
That's a move you can maybe see. But
instead of going after a 36-year-old on ridiculous wages,
that's a better way to go.
Maybe look somewhere else. Spend your money a bit wisely.
He deserved his goal. He was great first half. They're just both these teams. That's why we love the Bundesliga. It's just chance creation back and forth, and no team really defends at all, really. And you got that first half 1-0. Probably should have been like a 1-1 or 2-2 sort of first half. It was ridiculous. But we got a great goal. Xavi Simons' goal. He'll go back to PSG, won't he, at the end of the season. Does he get a move away, or does he stay at PSG?
If you're PSG, surely you're like, we gotta seriously give this kid a chance, because some of the goals he's scoring, even just the way he's playing, it's it's worthy of a start.
Euros, he could be
especially
around the place.
Mbappe leaves.
Exactly. If Mbappe leaves, you have to keep him.
Yeah.
But maybe if Mbappe's still there, hypothetically, does he want to get some solid game time at the top 5 league? Because he could go anywhere. I think anyone would. A bit of Xavi Farmers at the moment. Yeah, and then obviously, who was the first goal for
Leverkusen?
Leverkusen.
Oh my god.
Teller scored.
Teller.
Yeah, good goal as well. It was just consistent good goals. A 3-2 classic. Now, so 7 points. Like we keep saying this, games in hand sort of mean nothing to me at the moment because you have to win these games. So let's look at 7 points clear as you come in towards the backs of third of the season. You know, you have faith now. You have some faith in there. As much as we know Bayern will come, they're gonna have
no one's riding them off.
No,
like, you'd still put a decent amount of money on them still winning it.
Yeah,
because obviously they've got a history of. I mean, they haven't lost a Bundesliga title in how long?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like 10 years or something. So obviously, you'd still have them very high up there, but it's just hard. It's hard to bet against Leverkusen. To be honest,
not believe in Leverkusen right now.
I think you got to believe in them.
Big up Xavi Alonso, man. He's doing it. He's doing his thing.
Yep. Just preparing himself for Liverpool.
Yeah, just warming himself up when Jurgen Klopp had enough. And
save your best football for Liverpool, Xavi Alonso.
Hangs the glasses up, Jurgen Klopp. All right, this is gonna be a long segment because there was absolute madness in the Liga. So let's just set ourselves up here, reset ourselves, take the deep breath. Where should we get started? Let's go with the non-controversial. Let's start with Girona.
Yep.
5-1. We talked about Savio's performance. Dovic scored a hat-trick in 6 minutes. 13, 14 or 15 and 19.
Yep.
Ridiculous hat-trick.
All great goals as well.
Superb goals. A build-up play. This team, like Leverkusen, I want to watch him every week. It's just it's fantastic to watch. Savio's proven he could be worth a big move in the summer.
He's on loan as well. So.
Like he'll get either transferred to, I guess maybe a Prem or like a Bundesliga side, or he'll end up at like one of the big clubs in Spain. I feel like.
Wouldn't you love to see this team stay together for the Champions League though?
I would
like.
Love.
They can add a bit of
add another midfielder, maybe a centre back.
Yeah, it's just hard to see them all. I don't
see all this happening. Even Dovic, this guy is killing it. December player of the month, backs up with a hat trick here. Could have had more as well. Had some chances missed. They're a team now, 1 point clear on top. I know they play one more game as well, but they keep going as well. Can we believe in them as well? I think they've broken they've won the most points they've won in the season. Best defensive clean sheet record in the season already as well. It's just like, what can this team not do at the moment? Just in an age of the unexpected. Maybe we're in an age of the unexpected happening.
Yep.
Who would have thought Liverpool would win it? Who would have thought
Leverkusen
win it? Who would have thought Girona would win it? It could just be that sort of year. Yeah. I'm all for it because I don't know. Sevilla had the opening goal. Yeah. And you thought after what happened last week with Girona, maybe they're a bit off it, but nah.
No panic.
That happened
because they know they're so good going forward, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
As we said a couple of weeks ago, if Sevilla would have scored 3, they would have scored 6.
Yeah. And it's sort of what happened in this game.
And they're in great form right now. Dovbik's, his goals, that third goal, to just sort of take it down, take a touch past the defender and then just knock it in bottom bins. He's a great athlete for a guy that's, I don't know how tall he is. He looks bloody huge.
He's a big boy.
Obviously, they got Savio on the left. I think he plays.
Yep.
He was some of his cutbacks. There was a couple of times he cut it back and they couldn't score. He could have had 3 or 4 assists easily.
His numbers at the end of the season were ridiculous.
They got a good defense. They concede here and there some sloppy goals, but it's just the way they play.
It's because of the centre backs and the movement.
Again, they scored a shit ton, so it doesn't matter.
Why fear?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So they got 1 point clear of Real Madrid, who, boy, this game had it all. I watched the first half and was very disappointed. Real were not at the races at all.
That was shocking.
Almeria, they caused the 0-0 against Girona last week. They're still winless.
I know.
They were 2-0 up against Real Madrid.
Winless team.
Yeah, ever. They've had the last 2 weeks, they've gone and taken it to the top 2 teams in the Liga and seriously could have had results against both clubs. 2-0 up with 2 great goals as well from Almeria.
That second
Real
goal
Madrid
in particular.
I
think that was a centre-half as well.
He was playing DM
He was playing DM, but he's a centre-half and he just banged it.
The ball fell out to him.
Yes, I think
on the volley.
Someone tried to clear it. I think it was Nacho tried to clear it.
Yeah.
And then he went straight to him and he just banged it and it was top in.
It was one of those goals I'm like, this weekend he's had it all in terms of goals. It was one of a great finish, like and the ball that spin on us, I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is one of those goals. They caught them sleeping for the first goal in the 40 seconds. They got a goal as well. So I was like, oh, gee, is this going to be it? Is this Real Madrid still a little bumpier? Yeah. But that was the beginning of the controversy, I guess. Hostility wins a handball despite Rudiger probably in my eyes clearly fouling the defender in front. And then even that, he heads it onto a guy's defending arm. He's jumping, so his arms are up.
Yeah.
The gap's all of, this big between the arm. That's the first penalty. Bellingham converts that. And then Almeria go and score again in the 65th, 62nd minute. But then apparently the flailing arm caught Bellingham with enough extent for him to fall out and They
obviously didn't see Bellingham holding him first.
Yeah.
Literally grabbed his shirt. And, just with referees and with VAR, there is no common sense with that at all. No. Your natural instinct, it doesn't matter if you're playing football or you're at work. Yeah. If someone grabs you from behind, your natural instinct is to move your elbow, to move your arm, to just sort of shrug it. That's your natural instinct, right? So, again, it might be a foul, but the reason why that's happened is because he's held him, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't hold him, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's just that's not even the worst decision of the game, and it's just ridiculous how, if you're a Girona fan, you've got to be just absolutely livid.
It's another case that as well though. If that's in the box, they probably don't play that a foul either.
Yeah, no.
Because the contact was it was like fingertips that touched his face.
It was,
and obviously Drew
barely even touched him.
You kind of got Drew because that's the standard refereeing that you can win a foul from that. But
he's obviously hit him as well. But it's just annoying.
Just really, really, out of all the things you call a foul, that is what you're gonna call back for a foul. And obviously, there's a bit of history of the Spanish refereeing being very, very
it's
bad.
Moments like this which actually genuinely makes you believe that there is some sort of corruption going on.
For Barca and for Real Madrid, it happens a lot for Real, but also Barca early in the season. There's one for Barca as well, where you're like, is that, I can't remember the game, but it was like a penalty. It was definitely a penalty. So we complain about that in the English Premier League, but it's even worse in La Liga.
It's everywhere in the world, the standard of officiating, particularly in the Premier League, because it happens
a lot
every game. But
the corrupt, it has to be.
It generally, the games like this make you believe there's something going on.
Because 3-1, that game's over. As much as Real Madrid make a comeback, maybe they
get a draw. But they ain't winning it. No way.
There's no way they come back to that.
No.
Okay, so that happens there. Rule overturned. This is the 62nd minute.
Yeah.
And then the next this is for me one of the biggest ones.
This is shocking. The
70th minute.
This is shocking.
The ball gets crossed in from the top right hand side there. Vinicius appears to head it. Sort of comes off his arm, shoulder. Let's go. Let's be politically correct. The shoulder of his arm there, and ends in the back of the net. Referee rules it. The referee didn't play a foul in the build up into that first goal for Almeria. Then he pays handball, whatever he pays here. So the goal didn't stand.
Oh, the goal didn't stand.
The goal initially did not stand.
Okay.
So hear in mind, VAR's there to overturn bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yet the VAR says, "Come to the box. We need to have a look at this. We need to have a."
Yeah.
It hits Vinny what?
There? Yeah, there. Yeah.
And then the Liga have the audacity in the post game to show some diagram of what's in.
Yeah, what was that all about? Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, how much are Real Madrid paying the broadcaster? And I'm like, sorry, you can't be showing. It's some of his arm. He's done this. The worst bit is his arm went forward as well. If it
moved to obviously he didn't mean to because he was trying to head of it.
It's natural. But
his arms moved.
It looks so bad.
Yeah.
I get it if it maybe just bounces off him and goes in. Maybe I'm a bit more lenient, but I know he's heading it and that makes a lot of sense, but his arm moves with it to come off his shoulder and into the back of the net.
And why did Real Madrid get their first penalty? Because handball.
Handball for a poor handball.
The same sort of thing. His arms are out like that, but it's hit his arm. So I would love to know what the difference is.
All this time to come in, that handball was from this head to the I don't know. That for me was the worst. Is the fact that La Liga showed later on the whole diagram. So I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's I don't know. That for me is the most blatant handball.
It just baffles you, doesn't it? I think the Almeria coach got sent off.
Later in the game.
I don't blame him. If I was him, I'd sent
I
would have done more than sent off. I would have, yeah.
I would have kicked off. I would have started a fire in this.
I mean, even their reactions when like the ref said that it was a goal, you can just see they're like, we knew it was going to happen.
Accepted, yeah.
You know, because it's just become an acceptance to sort of allow these clubs to sort of get away with it. Even in Premier League clubs, we see it all the time. Well, I know, like obviously Liverpool have, you know, I think
should be 10 points clear or something.
Yeah, but there have been some decisions that have gone for us.
Yeah,
you know, so it happens with every club. But you know, I think maybe next week we should do like a top 5 or just ways to improve VAR.
Oh, we could do a whole episode. We'll come back on Friday and do a whole episode.
We could do 2 hours.
Yeah,
probably even more.
The worst thing for me is as on top of the big clubs thing is every time the ref goes to the screen, it's automatically overturned. Like, can we not have the ref say no? I got my big boy boots on here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say,
why can't referees, exactly, why can't, as a ref, because he's not giving it a goal, right?
Yeah.
So he's seen that it's hit his hand.
I'm sure it was him or either the lino. One of them said.
So why isn't he going into VAR saying, no, but it's hit his arm?
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
I've looked at the replay.
That's
obvious. What I've seen is what has come up on TV. So I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to back myself.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Not every ref that is sent to VAR.
These earpiece
always give into it.
Has to go. I get the earpiece to come over, then mute the channel
and let him
look at it.
Yep.
And just chuck some headphones on to get some white noise headphones so you don't hear anything else around you.
Yeah.
Look at the screen because I don't think in your right mind you can overturn that. Because I'm sure, unless it was very late, I was very tired, but I'm sure they gave it as like a no goal. And I'm pretty sure it was either him or the lino.
Well, it doesn't matter.
So you overturned. That's the thing. To overturn the decision has to be a clear and obvious error. Where's clear and where's obvious? Because to me, it's straightforward.
VAR should be only used for offsides because obviously the refs and I can't see it, and like maybe potential red cards.
Yeah, that fixes it.
But even then, I would leave it out because like look at the one with Cliver on the week. I don't know if you saw against Bournemouth Liverpool. Cliver goes into Diaz's like above his ankle.
Big challenge.
And as soon as I saw that, I was like, they're not going to give this a red card.
Yeah.
Even though it was blatant red card. Because you can't change what is and what isn't a red card midway through the season. We're giving Jones and McAllister a red card. Gusto gets a red card and then does the same thing a couple of weeks later and doesn't get one.
Well, even like the Brewster one, that's probably very similar to what Cliver did. Similar to the challenge, similar sort of intensity to the challenge, but one night's a red, one night it's a bit all over the place. It's
VR just need
a rabbit hole.
I agree with you 100%. What you said was bang on. If there's a goal that's been scored and they need the ref to go and look at it, tell him you need to have a look at this just to see what you think, and then don't say a word. Yeah. Let him make the decision because he was bang on with it. And then I don't know what they've said to convince him that. To let it stand or to like I don't get it. I don't get how I don't get how that's a goal. I really don't get it.
And obviously
there's so many problems at the moment with
it's not the obviously it's not the only one, but it just feels like because this game had so many different moments, it was like this is like the final straw.
It's massive for Girona as well.
Huge for them.
If they drop points in that game, like I think even if Madrid win, Girona would still be top because of goal difference. But now it's just
Well, that could be 2 points or 4 points clear. Now they're only 1 point clear, Girona.
Obviously, it happens to every team, and it's happened to pretty much every team in the Premier League. Happens to most teams around the world, if not every team. But because of the circumstances,
this is why we're talking about it. Versus the team that hasn't won a game.
Yeah,
that team that's been battling and had a great performance to have that go against a third time,
and not just one decision, but
three bad
ones. The Bellingham one's opinion, right? You can say, it's a foul because he has clipped him. It's not a foul because he, you can, that's sort of you can debate both sides of it.
Yeah.
But this was a handball that's, I mean, we have not progressed in terms of refereeing since the Maradona incident.
No, same thing.
It's the same.
And we've got all the technology, all these different cameras looking at it.
Think about how much money that's been put into VAR and to improve the standard of officiating.
Well, the technology's fine. It's just about how you use the technology.
It's the refs. It's people say get VAR. It's not VAR. It's the refs and how they're being taught to ref.
Just, yeah. I don't. And the fact that Vinny had the audacity to say something about like that's what I did back on the beaches of Brazil. I'm like, yeah, of course you did when you're like fisting the ball in. Yeah. It's just I don't know. It was a stinker. But then obviously the drama comes. Classic Madrid. Yeah. 99th minute.
Just typical that they always do it, don't they? This is like a kind of monthly thing. Every 2 to 3 weeks they always do.
Bellingham heads across goal. Carvalho back post. The captain, the leader, the legend seems in. I felt like seeing Alaba with a chair again. You know, we put one of those moments again. Absolute scenes. They go top momentarily before Girona play, but that's just one of those moments again in terms of the season that swings it back in Real Madrid's momentum, right, and back in their favour.
It's a big win, despite all the controversy. They really won't care.
No, they won't, because obviously they were good, but do they deserve to win with how they played?
First half they were awful. Second half they obviously did what they always do and just pressed and got into gear. But it's just
classic Madrid, classic Ancelotti. Just find a way to win a game that you
always
probably deserve.
Always coming back.
It's the history of Madrid.
Yep. Give me a Real Madrid shirt, Liverpool shorts.
Yeah,
come back to life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then another game which was fantastic as well. Real Betis 2, Barcelona 4. Barcelona stay, I guess, in the race in a way. They're 7 points off. Real 8 points off Girona now. Gee, what a game this one was. Barcelona good early. Ferran Torres scores. João Felix scores as well. 2 very well taken goals.
Yeah, good finish.
But again, they were conceding chances.
Yep.
And after half time, Isco, probably the player of the league this season. Yeah, he's the best player in the league.
Unreal, hasn't he?
Killing it. Second life at Betis. 2 great volleys. 1 half volley, 1 volley. Boy, fabulous finishes in the space of 3 minutes, 56th, 59th minute.
Yep.
And I thought, they're going to get him.
Trouble,
Barcelona stuffed it again. They tried. They couldn't quite get the goal. Yamal was very good as well from the flank, the youngster back.
He's freak. He's what, 17?
Yeah. Jesus. The pace and precision. That's the thing. We talked about the last few weeks, like Gavi, Pedri, and now Yamal. They've just got talent in there as well. You just got to keep them fit and healthy, man, because if these guys keep going, they'll obviously turn the corner and be good.
Yeah.
But back against the wall.
Big win. Much needed. Tough place to play. Betis are a good team. They got probably the player of the year in Isco there.
90th minute goal, 93-minute goal.
Yeah, tough place to play, but a big win. Again, still question marks around their defence.
A lot of questions.
Also that they're scoring goals here and there. Obviously, it's a big win for Xavi because he's been under a bit of pressure lately. He'll always be under pressure, but big win for him. He knew he needed a win like that
after what's happened in recent weeks.
A tough win at Betis. So I don't know how many points are off the top, but
8 points off the top.
I can't see them winning it. Can they close the gap? Maybe, but I think
if you draw that game, you go even further. Yeah, you go 10 off top.
You allow sort of Atletico and a couple of other teams to close the gap on you,
and you go further away from the top. So at least they're still in that debate around the area for the top. But still worrying signs for Barca. But massive win in terms of massive sort of confidence boosting come from tied up, conceding 2 goals to make it count, which is very good for them.
Yep.
Hope they can kick on now and make it a 3-horse title race. And then obviously last night before we actually watch this one here, record this one here, Italian Super Cup was played back in Saudi again.
Yep.
The home ground for Super Cups at the moment. And Inter go and win the 3rd consecutive Super Cup, 1-0 win. Probably could have been more in this one.
Yeah.
Napoli are just not at the races at the moment. Simeone gets the red card. That probably doesn't help their chances. But Lautaro again, he's just scoring goals for fun. 91st minute goal, 3 in a row for Inter. They probably will go top of Serie A again when they play their game in hand. Things are going right for Inter at the moment.
Yeah, it's very good.
Solid depth, solid squad.
Yep.
They're still, like you said last, they've still got these sort of players like Arnautovic, and they've still got like the likes of like Sanchez. You're like, how is this team still one of the top in the world? But important signings in there. They're just solid. It's just a solid team. Yeah, Mkhitaryan's playing at a very good level as well. I feel like under the radar as well, and just keep winning games of football. And Lautaro, like we said last week, probably the striker. Maybe Dobvik, maybe
Kane. I guess
Kane, you're guessing away, but these probably 3 of the top form strikers in the world. Lautaro, 20-odd goals for all comps.
Yeah, he's been really good. Yeah, I know that. Like obviously, them and Juventus are very close. But obviously, we spoke about last year how like Inter just playing kind of much better football. I know Juve have kicked on the last couple of games. I think they beat someone 3-0. I don't know who it was.
On the weekend,
obviously Juventus are starting. I know a couple of weeks ago I said like they're not really scoring. Obviously they've defended at a high level all year, but they're not really scoring. But now they're starting to kick into gear, and maybe Juventus are not sort of talked about as much. Maybe they could be talked about a little bit more. But obviously, with how impressive Inter have been, all the talk's been about them, and Lautaro's been unreal this year.
Unbelievable.
Calhanoglu's, Mkhitaryan.
Calhanoglu's well.
They've got a good defence, and they're just playing really good football.
Juve winning 3-1 to Lecce.
Yeah, it's hard to see them not win. If they keep playing at this level, I think they'll win Serie A pretty comfortably.
Could be another domestic treble maybe.
Yeah, could be.
The way things are going.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to turn out to be the Vlahovic versus Lautaro show.
Vlahovic has been amazing.
You touched on earlier about the goals. He doubled on the weekend. It's going to be quite interesting.
Yep.
Because again, both teams probably known for how solid they are in midfield and defence, but the goals are coming from the top end from a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, Juve know how to win.
They're a winning team, right?
Yeah, they know how to win, so that's all that matters.
A winning manager as well, maybe they say.
A manager that knows how to win Serie A.
Yeah,
so.
It's going to be an interesting sort of battle. We're loving it. It's a good year for
it's good year to start this, I know. Great year.
Yeah. We've lucked into luck here. Any year, hopefully next year continues the trends. But no, definitely a big week in football and a big week amongst many things. We're probably going to have a bit of a dull period here because we don't have so many cup competitions to talk about.
There'll be a lot.
Let's do, I guess we do predictions most weeks in terms of EFL and Premier League stuff. But we've got the Carabao Cup. Well, you've got the Carabao Cup midweek. Second leg at Fulham.
Yep.
Interesting sort of place to try and play football, especially with how they've been so a mixed bag. Do you reckon you can get a job done there and get over the line?
I think it'll be very hard. The thing about Fulham is they know how to score goals against us. I know defensively they haven't been great against us, but obviously we've gotten a bit lucky in the last two meetings. Obviously we scored screamers only, but then in the EFL Cup game, we only got back into the game because of a deflection. I know we were sort of banging on the door up until then, but I think Fulham,
because away goals don't count in this day. It's purely just goals.
Do away goals?
I don't think away goals that you count.
I think this will be a 1-1, to be honest.
And just get it through.
Yeah, just get over the line.
Yeah. And Chelsea Middlesbrough as well.
Yeah, I fancy Middlesbrough. I know.
Same.
I think they're missing a lot of players.
I think you can always get a 1-1, maybe a 1-1 or a 0-0, and just get out of there.
I thought the away goals not count. I thought
I'm sure the Carabao Cup they don't count. Wait, I'm going to expose myself here. Yeah, I'm going to go do away goals.
The away goals is not applied. It's not applied.
It's applied.
Damn, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
Or can we see Chelsea Middlesbrough, or maybe even you guys go to a pen shootout?
I think Chelsea Middlesbrough will go to a pen shootout. I think it'll be 1-0 Chelsea.
And then just it's a...
And then, they'll go to pens. I still think Chelsea will get through.
Because of the penalties at home as well.
I think Middlesbrough are missing quite a lot of players, though. So, I mean, Chelsea might just kind of score a couple of goals past them.
Yeah.
The Fulham Liverpool one, as much as we're in obviously a good form at the minute, I think Fulham they've had the week off as well, so they're just going to give it their absolute all. I don't think they won't sit back in this one. They'll come out and
that's the thing with Fulham. That could be really bad. You could batter them 4-0 for what it's worth, but then there's some Fulham. You don't know which team turns up. I know recently they've been good against you, but in recent weeks in terms of Premier League football, there's 1 week you think they're going to be a top sort of 8 challenger. The next week you think, damn, they really struggle to stay mid-table here.
I think if Liverpool score first, I think that's pretty much tie over.
Yeah.
I think if Fulham score first, I think that could go either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Fulham know how to attack us.
Decent at home as well.
So they'll have a lot of confidence going into that, especially with sort of how we're missing a lot of players at the moment. Like you can't expect sort of Conor Bradley and Harvey and these youngsters to consistently play at a high level.
And then who's going to be rested because it's a good turnaround as well.
So obviously, I think Klopp should go full on play, Kanate play, because then against Norwich, like even if we lose that game, just rest.
Yeah. And then I think obviously for Chelsea game, we think Chelsea will go through.
I think they'll go through.
But I guess, it depends. If Chelsea score early and first, you can wrap it up, I think. But if you're doing 65th minute and it's still 0-0, or maybe barrel up 1-0.
There'd be a little bit of
there's some worry there.
Fans going a bit mental,
So, I'm going to go Chelsea and Liverpool into the final again. Replay of 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Are you going to go the same?
Don't be another 0-0.
No, another 0-0 penalty shootout again.
If that happens, panic attack.
But we'll have to live stream that, especially if those two teams are through. We'll have to get that on the live stream.
watch me be a nervous wreck.
Yeah, we've seen you first someone on edge for a game. And then on the weekend, with some FA Cup ties, took us on the big ones here. Chelsea Villa. Did Chelsea back it up again on a Friday evening? It's a quick turnaround
Chelsea
as well.
Villa at Chelsea
at the Bridge, yeah.
Surely Villa would go quite
to town, yeah.
They'd go quite strong in that. You'd expect,
especially if Chelsea have to play a tough game midweek as well.
I think Chelsea will probably rest a couple of players. I mean, they've got a squad of 35 anyway, so
another starting level come back out there.
I fancy Villa in that.
Yeah,
I would like to think that Villa will take that very seriously, the FA Cup very seriously.
Yeah,
obviously, you'd want to finish top 4,
but they've had a break as well, right?
Yeah,
so there's no excuse to, and then the Conference League is a while away. It's not like you need to rest up.
Yeah, and they don't play in the league till probably is it Tuesday?
The following,
Tuesday. Wednesday against Newcastle.
Okay. That's another interesting game there as well. But I think if you're Villa, you go for that.
You got to go for it here. I fancy Villa in that game.
And then Tottenham, Man City as well. What a game! Tottenham, the boogie team.
Man City haven't scored at the new Tottenham Stadium yet, so
go on, Ange. Go on, Ange. Do it again, Ange.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, obviously Liverpool got a good draw as well, so it would be very nice if City were to get knocked out.
I think Tottenham might nick it. If I'm being serious, Tottenham in good form.
Tottenham, again, a bit like Villa, you'd expect them to go quite strong. Not like the EFL Cup where Tottenham, played Foster and
they played everyone else.
These kind of
Solomon, all these guys
played. You wouldn't expect that.
You got the centre backs are back.
Yeah, City, I'd imagine will play like Oscar Bob and these kind of players, like younger sort of players.
They still have KDB. I hope KDB will play this game. They'll start this game.
You reckon he starts?
A chance to play full 90. Or at least a 70.
Yeah, true.
But it's going to be tough for him because he's come against the high-paced Tottenham, who are in the front foot. The problem is that midfield for Tottenham. Is it going to be good enough to...
Yeah, that's. I think City win that just because the midfield
battle is a bit unbalanced there.
I don't think it matters who plays in midfield for City. It's always going to be better than Spurs.
Got a 3-2 on it, I think. I'm going to go Tottenham 3-2. What have you...
I'll go City 3-2.
Yeah, there's going to be goals. You know there's going to be goals in this game. Is there any other good FA Cup ties?
I mean, we got Newport County versus United.
It's one of the classics, that one there. Probably 0-0. Replay.
Surely not.
No, I think
you expect United to go full strength, right? Play Bruno.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone will play that game. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe Diallo as well. See a chance of Diallo play again.
Yeah. I'd expect United to sort of win that 2-3-0. You'd expect. Yeah.
Maybe a possible exciting fixture in there as well in terms of like a championship matchup. Coventry's in good form versus Sheffield Wednesday, or Swansea versus Bournemouth. Swansea, who just picked up the former Knights manager Luke Williams, have turned it around. Bournemouth, they might rest up a little bit considering they played Prem on the weekend.
Yeah, I'd expect them to. I mean, the problem with Bournemouth is they can't really rest because they've already got a couple of injuries.
As well. So
they might have to kind of just
full strength. They probably could beat Swansea there. But then even Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry will be a good game.
Yeah.
Just the FA Cup, you never know. There's always going to be...
Always drama in the FA Cup. Always.
Love the cup.
Even Liverpool could... Norwich could... You never know. Because Liverpool will rest big. Liverpool rest big for that game.
Yeah. And some big clubs still around in terms of like Championship or EFL big clubs still in there. You've got Ipswich are in good form. Again, Forest versus Bristol will be a tough game as well. Like, there's some great games in there.
If I'm United, you got to be.
That's the only team left that is stinky, probably.
Yeah.
Newport. I don't think there's any other team there that's an easy. Maybe is Maidstone still in there? I think they got knocked out, didn't they?
I think they got knocked out.
Maidstone versus Ipswich. Ipswich will be happy as well.
Yep.
They get to rest a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So you've got Maidstone, Wrexham are still in there, and Newport are probably the lower teams in there that you can think you can get a win against. But otherwise,
there's going to be some big teams getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But obviously you expect Liverpool to win.
Yeah.
Fulham, Newcastle,
Newcastle you can't rate at the moment either. Yeah. Then Fulham, we're going to expect them to go full strength in the Cup. So, again...
There's some good games, yeah.
There's some good FA Cup for the weekend.
We'll see what happens.
Decent entertainment. It's not going to be Premier League type entertainment, but enough entertainment.
Come on, Newport County. Come on.
come on the county. All right, that wraps it to an end. Thanks again for coming through this week. Another great week.
Good. Yeah.
We're lucky.
Let's keep this going. A lot of talking points.
Absolutely. Make sure, like, comment, subscribe, 5 stars on Spotify as well. Be much appreciated.
Back to 250 views. Come on.
Yeah.
Around there.
And help the Monday crew out because they're feeling a bit underwhelmed that they're only putting 50, 60 views. So help those boys out as well. Check that one out.
Yep, check them out.
Actually, don't check this one. This was a bit rubbish this week, actually. Save it for next Monday. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about. Thanks again, mate. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday or Thursday, whenever I upload it. Till then, guys, see you later.